Welcome to this broadcast. Are you ready to feel the chills of the night? Its wailing echoes in the wind? Are you ready to hear the blood-curdling screams of ghosts making their final destination? Or are you ready for terror? Just kidding, guys. It's me again, Sarah Stephenson, ready to bring you horror, mayhem, and a bit of sci-fi thrown in. So, I'll introduce you to my co-host, Michael Stephenson.
Evening all.
Yeah, today we're doing our review on The Final Girls film that was done in the year 2015. This was a slasher and a comedy, so It's going to be really a bit of a treat for everyone.
Yeah, it's a good fun movie. Yeah, I mean, like all these comedy slasher type films, the story is totally implausible, but gee, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, yes. Well, the story begins with a young girl, a teen girl, and her mum, who's an out-of-work actress, who is very beautiful. And
who used to be in slasher movies.
Yes, a lot of slasher movies. And it's just like probably a lot of out-of-work actors, probably who started in the 80s or the 90s, and considered not doing any much work as we speak, but still, they're still trying to get their name out again.
Yeah, exactly, as one would.
Mm-hmm. It's a little sad when you think about it.
But the mother was in, was it Camp Bloodbath?
Yes, Camp Bloodbath.
What a great name for a movie.
Yes, a fictional-related slasher film for this movie. So anyway, in the story, it takes place where she just got turned down from an audition for an upcoming role she was going to portray. And they get into this horrible car crash, and the mother dies, but the daughter survives, and she feels rather sad and probably a little bit, not just that.
She was the mother.
It's not just that. She probably felt partly responsible for her death.
Spilling a drink on the cardigan or whatever it was.
Spilling a drink on her resumes, and her mother wasn't paying attention, and that's when the car swerved and then crashed into another car, and then all hell breaks loose.
I wonder if her insured.
I don't know.
Well, it would be nice. Yeah.
And that's where 1 year later, girl...
No, it wasn't a couple of years later, was it?
No, it was 1 year later.
One year,
meaning the girl's living with her aunt or whoever she's living with, and her friends are telling her that, one of her friends tells her about this. They're going to be reviewing her old mother's slasher film, Camp Bloodbath, at the theatre.
And they talked her into going along. She really didn't want to go.
Yes. Yeah. Even though she ended up being blackmailed into it.
Not blackmailed, just talked into it. I don't think they blackmailed.
Yeah, because he promised to do some of her schoolwork because she was failing, because she was probably depressed.
What are friends for, hey?
Yeah, so she goes, and she, like all girls, she's watching it and probably wishing her mother was still around.
Yeah, well.
And
then
suddenly, unexpectedly,
they're in the theatre.
They're in the theatre.
And the movie's on.
And the movie's on. And then a fire breaks out.
Very implausible way of starting a fire. I'll leave it to your imagination. It doesn't really happen that way.
Yes, no one does it that way.
No. And anyway, the fire starts.
So the fire starts, and everyone is running around trying to figure out how to get out of the theatre.
Except for our
girl and
her friends who head towards
the film screen. She cuts it open with a plastic machete, which was one of the props they had there, and they break open the screen,
and they walk through it.
And then magically they appear
in the movie.
It reminds me a little bit of Wizard of Oz because the place is very bright and vibrant. Like you just entered the Twilight Wizard of Oz zone, where everyone speaks 80s or slang.
Yeah, well, that was the period the movie was actually made in, of all these weird
Yeah, of course.
Fun people.
Yeah, of course our
Yeah,
our
yeah.
characters are still wearing their modern clothing. Consider what you consider modern clothing. Back then would have been
But this
considered
is about
rather
15 to 20
outdated.
years after the movie was made.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
And no one actually notices in the movie that
Yeah.
they're wearing strange clothes.
Yeah, and
So-
and at the same time, I'm grossed out by the whole appearance of seeing crop tops. Ooh,
Yeah, the old
gross.
style clothes. Some of the clothing was just not right.
Yeah,
you know,
crop
it's,
tops were just awful. Showing a man's
yeah, guys,
belly
guy's
like
got a
that.
midriff
Ugh.
there. He looks so
Ugh.
a tough guy looking girly almost. You know, what do you
Yeah,
reckon?
girls
yeah.
look better with crop tops, but not
Yeah,
men.
they do. No, I'm not doing all men. No. But
So
yeah,
I won't go there.
The clothes there were really
yeah.
weird.
Yes, and of course, she sees her mum, and they pretty much have a bit of a connection, like
But you
a mother and daughter.
But you can't tell her mother that she's her mother in real life because they're about the same age.
Yeah, exactly. How would you feel if you found out that years to come that you'll find out you're going to have a daughter, even
Yeah.
though both the character and the mother they're sort of like alike.
They're similar, yeah.
They're similar because,
But not.
but they're not.
They got their own personal characters, but they got you know you bond with somebody you got
Yeah.
feelings with, a spiritual connection. Well, she had the spiritual connection with her mother,
Yeah.
but they didn't know. Her mother didn't know why, because she's only a star in a movie and she's not real.
Yeah, and the
But that'll go on a bit further in the
The
movie.
interesting
Yeah.
thing about her character in Camp Bloodbath is that her name is Nancy. Now that's a very much what you hear. You've heard that name in Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, we
the
did,
first
didn't we?
one.
Yeah, that's right,
Where
yeah.
the leading girl in that one, the final girl in that one, is named Nancy too.
What have they borrowed? I mean, these parodies.
Yeah,
and,
it's
so
probably-
they always borrow names.
It's probably
and
most likely.
and ideas and stuff.
Before you start questioning whether Nancy's our final girl, well, originally in their interpretation of the story in Camp Bloodbath, it's actually a girl named Paula who's a bit of a punk rock type
Oh yeah,
girl.
for the guys listening to this, she's really a good-looking babe.
Yeah, and
really good.
And before you ask me, guys, her real name is Chloe Bridges, and she was in she played Donna LaDonna in the Carey Diaries. If some of you guys have seen the TV series already.
Yeah, Carey Diaries.
Yeah, I hate the whole lip
That's
thing.
not a
Ooh.
actually, it is horrible. It does fit in the horror regime because it's a horrible show.
It's not that bad. It's just that she's both in the Carey Diaries. She's also in the 80s,
I
so
was joking.
that kind of fits in with
Yeah, I know, her
with her
personality, yeah.
personality, and they were both playing 80s
I
roles.
was joking about the Carey Diaries being horrible.
No, it's not. Although it gets kind of boring after a while.
Yeah, it does boring. It's been. I can't swear on this. I'll be taken off the air.
So so back to the story.
Yep, come on.
Our heroes try to find a way out of the movie, but they somehow have to stay. Somehow they can't get out because they're stuck. Like they
Yeah.
can't move forward. They can't
Yeah.
take the car and just drive on out of there.
Yeah, they've got to go through the movie with the other actors. Mm-hmm. They have to be part of the movie, which is a good twist. I like it. Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
I mean, the only way to get out of it is to go through it.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
the quickest way from point A to point B is going in a straight line, and their straight line is going straight through the movie, and risk being killed and beaten up and whatever. And yeah, so they've got to be part of it.
Yeah, and our characters get into this sort of thing, and just so you know, our Nancy's daughter's is actually named Max, and she's sort of our final girl for the final girls movie. So it's technically means that she's the final girl, and they keep mentioning the word virgin in this because that's pretty much
it's supposed to be the pure girl who is the innocent one who is going to be the final girl because she's got supposedly goodness and all those wholesome things on
Yeah.
her side, where the butch bird who's probably a kickboxer will
Yeah.
get killed. That really doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, if you guys ever look it up, you find out that it's not always necessarily the virgin, but it's most of the time it's the smart girl or the one who's the least likely person to be overlooked.
Yeah. They always pick the less likely one, which is going to be the good little girl in the corner who doesn't do anything.
Yeah, and like she's
Boring, but
boring,
it's,
or she doesn't want to go all the way with the guy.
yeah, it's not a party animal. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
A lot of mistakes there.
The
But
parents would be really happy. Yeah.
but there are they have over the years with the final girl. She does eventually doesn't have to be a virgin.
But anyway, can we move on from the virginity bit? Or is it getting a bit boring now?
I know, it's getting kind of boring.
Anyway,
so
it strolls on through
it strolls on, and then the characters eventually reveal to the Camp Buff guys that this is a actual movie,
and they
not a
don't
real
really
thing.
exist. Now
Yes.
that'd be a real hard one for them to swallow because they think they're real.
Yeah, you know.
But, yeah. But they took it on and they listened to them and they joined forces to beat off this guy who reminded me very much of what's his name? Was it Jason?
Yeah,
Jason
Voorhees.
Voorhees. Yeah.
Yes.
Mask. His mask wasn't as good as Jason's,
Yeah,
but the idea they ripped off the concept.
Yeah,
it was really
technically,
good.
when you look at Friday the 13th, Jason, I did like the fact that where they came up with the mask. Like, it just, after the second movie, that he then starts wearing the hockey mask, and that was really a good turnaround for the story.
That looks good, yeah. I mean, it's smooth and sleek, and you can breathe through it, It's really good. And you have a cigarette through one of the holes. And
As if Jason would ever smoke.
Well, you never know he does, but he's got time off,
Okay, we're drifting off track again. Sorry, guys. So they put together a plan to trap him and maybe kill him off if they can.
Yeah. They do little things like the one who's really cute and sexy is just liable to strip off and hump anything. They dress her up in a life vest and put mittens on her so she can't undress herself and all these other weird things.
Yeah, she's the kind of party animal girl.
In a big way.
In the worst way.
Yeah, a cute, dizzy blonde. Really good. Really makes the show.
Yeah, and before you ask me, there is no nudity in this show.
No, it's safe for kiddies if they like horror movies.
Yes, unlike in the olden days where they did show off a few
in the
disposal
series, in the real movies they did, but this is a comedy sort of horror, so they don't need to take the clothes off to make a good fun movie.
Yeah,
it's just a good fun movie. But let's stepping back just a minute. This is written by a person called M. Fortin and Joshua Miller. Now, I don't know who they are. But I think they got a good grip on these sort of slasher movies because they took a bit from here and a bit from there from the real movies and threw it in the script, and I think it works.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think they've done a really, really good job, and the actors, especially this guy Billy, the nasty guy played by Daniel Norris.
Yeah, our Jason.
The Jason guy. He's believable. Even though it's a comedy, he's trying to be serious with all the people running around going weird and stuff. And it works.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think it was really cool, especially the fact that when he starts taking them down a peg or two.
Yeah.
And of course, the interesting bit was eventually Max, the girl's actress daughter, finally reveals to her mum that the truth, that she is really her daughter and that she wanted to really very much take her back to reality. Maybe she can, in hopes of her to begin again.
Actually, I want to just bring another point. The lady who's played the mum played a young person and an older person. Played the mother and herself when she was younger. And a lady called Malin Ackerman was playing the role. She's very attractive and she's what's the word? She's really got a vibrant look about her as a young woman and an older woman. So she's really got a great personality, which just comes out at you.
Yeah, there was even when in the beginning of the scene when you see her walking to a car, you don't see how tall she was because in the scene they're pretty much in their car, so there's no way of knowing how tall she was. So they kind of left it up to the audience that she was.
That way. So she was a fully grown woman, but she would have been a fully grown woman in the Camp Bloodbath movie. But if she was standing next to the girl playing a daughter, which is Thaisa Farmiga, now if they were standing together, and they're the same height when she's supposed to be a child in school,
theirs
it would
will
have
be-
it might have thrown it out just a
Yeah,
little
it
bit,
would
but they
have
kept
thrown-
them apart that way, which is good.
Yeah, kind of fit into it a bit.
Yeah, and it eased into it later on when they're in the movie because the daughter was older.
Yeah, so anyway, eventually she reveals to her mother certain things that she would only know, or maybe her cat.
Yeah.
Like she liked certain songs, like what was that one?
Betty Davis Eyes, was it?
Yeah, that was a good song. That's played in the beginning and probably at the end of halfway into the movie.
But anyway, you're strolling on. The mother, who was supposed to be the final girl,
Supposedly,
who's supposed to escape and kill the nasty guy,
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah, because originally it was Paula, but then she gets killed in a car crash, and then they had to nominate a new final girl, and I thought maybe Nancy or Max would be the most likely two of the final girls.
Gee, they picked the wrong one.
Yes, in the
She
end, in the end, Nancy decided to sacrifice herself to get
Save her
Max
daughter.
to be the final girl.
Yeah, so save it.
I don't know what Max means. It could be a short for Maxine.
Could be Maxine or something, yeah.
or something.
Yeah, like Sam short for Samantha for a female.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what
I don't hear.
does it matter?
No, it
No, it
doesn't.
doesn't.
I
Move
heard
on.
it could be a nickname for all I know,
Yeah.
or something.
A Maximilian? No, that's not a good girl's name, no. It's,
No. So anyway, guys.
Mad Max? No. That's another movie.
Yeah.
Carry on.
So anyway, her mother sacrifices herself and saves her daughter, and the daughter takes Billy down a peg or two by slashing him into his head off.
Yeah.
And just like the movie, like ordinary movies, it begins the credits and herself, Max and her boyfriend, I think, watches the credits roll, and we enter the twist at the end of the movie.
Oh, wait, well, listen, it goes through it goes through the credits. When they had the hospital bit, was that just after the
That's
credits or
just
just
after
before?
the credits.
Yeah, just after the credits, her friends who had died, the real people who had died in the movie,
Yeah.
were all in hospital. They were all alive.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. And then you start to hear this movie and stuff going on, and music going on in the background. And when the guy said, "Oh, I know what's happening. It's a sequel. It's a double feature."
Yeah,
And they have to go through it
yeah.
again on Camp Bloodbath
Yeah.
2.
You'll find out at the beginning, or part of the beginning of the movie, you find out it's a double feature, meaning they were showing the first Bloodbath movie and the sequel to the
Which
movie.
means you've got to live through it a second time
Meaning
before they can get home.
if they
If
get
they get
home,
home.
that is.
Well, they got out
guys.
somehow or other, but maybe I don't know.
but-
So I don't know where the hospital was. Was that was in La La Land or in the real world?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, weird, hey.
Yeah, but then again, it was still in the room, still in. They were still in the sequel movie because you see the credits, the title
Yeah.
card at the beginning.
Yeah,
And
man, did they trip over something at some of the letters at
Yes,
one
that
stage?
was hilarious. I liked it when Billy got crashed. The car crashes into Billy, and then he crashes into the letters like a bowling ball.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, so that's like really 3D, you know.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious. It was.
No, it's a really good watch. I mean, it's up there for the top. Yeah, the top
I like-
ones for black comedies,
Yeah.
horror. Yeah, it's great. It's a
mean,
good fun,
yeah.
a fun movie to watch.
So anyway, guys, I rate this movie. I give it 9 out of 10. Is what I think.
Yeah, I'd say about a 9 out of 10. It's really, this is really well done. If you like comedy, horror, slasher movies,
Yeah.
it's up there. It's a good watch, and it's only recently new, 2015, so it should be available
Yeah.
to buy or to download or to rent or whatever you're going to do. So it's out there.
Yeah, if you like watching slashers, you'll love this one.
Yeah, I did, and different generation. Sarah's 30, I'm mid-60s, and I enjoyed it. So it's not really just a teen flick.
So thanks everyone for listening to Boys and Ghouls film review. So I'll talk to you guys later. So keep listening to us, and sleep well, guys, and don't let the bed bugs bite.